Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 8 of Be With Me in the book of 2 Corinthians. Today's title is that Jesus smells like molasses cookies. Now, here it is. He's going to ask us to smell like molasses cookies and represent that smell as it goes forth. But here's the deal. Yesterday, I was in my office, and I had this amazing smell started to waft through the house. So I go to the kitchen, and I wasn't sure exactly what was up in there, but I knew that it was wonderful. And there was this caramely, rich, sweet, maybe salty smell wafting from this room. Well, later I found out it was molasses cookies being baked in our kitchen by my wife, which was just fantastic. So at a moment, it's like, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I like it. So listen in today's passage. This is from 2 Corinthians chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 12, and this is all about aroma and fragrance. And we'll come back to our molasses cookie in a second. This is Paul talking. When I came to Troas to preach the gospel of Christ, even though a door was opened for me in the Lord, my spirit was not at rest, because I did not find my brother Titus there. So I took leave of them and went on to Macedonia. Here we go with the fragrance part. But thanks be to God, who in Christ always leads us in triumphal procession, and through us spreads the fragrance of molasses cookies, of the knowledge of him everywhere. For we are the aroma of Christ to God, among those who are being saved and among those who are perishing. To one a fragrance from death to death, to the other a fragrance from life to life. Who is sufficient for such things? For we are not like so many peddlers of God's words, but as men of sincerity, as commissioned by God, in the sight of God, we speak in Christ. So what a great story today about aroma and fragrance. So this fragrance wafts out into the world. It distributes itself. It goes to those who are being saved, those who are not being saved, but basically the people that are at the pointy end of the process, right at the critical juncture. And get this fragrance, so we are supposed to have the fragrance. We are supposed to be the fragrance of Christ that is smelled by the Father, accepted. So the Father is smelling the cookies here. So follow me here. Jesus smells good. He's the ultimate molasses cookie. He asks us to smell like it. Jesus and and us are being smelled by the Father and being approved, and we offer this smell to believers and people that are being saved, and we offer the smell to people who are ultimately going to reject the Lord. So this fragrance is smelled by the Father. It's done by us humans, us believers, us workers. We're supposed to smell like Jesus to the Father as we represent him, as we are commissioned by him, as we speak in the sight of God. And it's not saying whatever, but saying stuff that's in line with his message, his character, his words. And we are supposed to smell like molasses cookies to God. It's an amazing concept. So God uses this fragrance of the attractiveness of Christ, and he distributes this attractiveness of Christ by actual human beings to those who are being saved and those who are not being saved. But the point is that right at this pointy end of witness and evangelism and consideration of God. So this fragrance is going to people at one of the moments of their life that they will never forget. It's being brought by representatives that look a lot like Jesus, but they're actually people, and they have the smell of Jesus, the caramely wonderful smell of Jesus. So we are commissioned genuine aroma carriers. And somehow the Lord uses us and asks us to represent him when? At this critical moment of salvation and rejection. We are the aroma of Christ to God among those who are being saved and among those who are perishing. So this fragrance goes out to the people that say yes, that are saying yes, or are just about to say yes, and to those who are about to say no. So we are the real deal at the critical moment of salvation, at this pointy end of witness is what I'm calling it. When am I the aroma? When it's really important, right at this cusp of election and choice or salvation and rejection. And then this last point about who is sufficient. Who is sufficient to smell like Christ? Who is sufficient to be there at the most important moment of people's lives? Nobody. There's no apostle that's sufficient for this. No Paul that's sufficient for this. No pastor, no music ministry, no nursery worker, nobody that parks cars, nobody that is a church administrator, nobody that counts money, no deacon, no elder, nobody. None of us are sufficient. None of us say, hey, I got this. No, I have the aroma of Christ. I'm carrying on the aroma of Christ with me. No, we all say, my pockets are empty. Woe is me. It's only by this miracle where God gives us his aroma. So my prayer today is that I would be the aroma of Christ. I would be the molasses cookie smell, carry this great smell of Jesus wherever I go, knowing all along that I'm not sufficient for this. But he's made us sufficient. We smell like Jesus at the moment of particular hunger for people, at the critical moment of their lives when they are seeking God or maybe rejecting God. He's made us to smell winsome and attractive and caramely. It pleases God as we are representative of Jesus. So be the molasses today. And for those of you, this is an unusual altar call, if you will, is I'm asking you, if you've been smelling the molasses cookie, often brought by human beings, but ultimately what you're doing is you're smelling Jesus, that you've had human representatives accurately distribute the smell to you, then my call to you is, hey, today's the day to taste the molasses cookie. Taste and see. He's attractive, he's tasty, he's caramely. Jesus smells like the molasses cookie. Receive him. Taste him today. Thanks for listening.